Welcome explorers. In today's session we are going to see the Java implementation of Visionaire and Gronsfeld cipher. So let's begin. Now before diving into the coding part, let me give you a brief description of this cipher. Now in Visionaire cipher we basically try to make use of a key which is actually the word fortification, wherein the letters of the word are basically arranged in a cyclic manner so as to match the length of the plain text. Also in this cipher we also make use of a 2D character array, also known as the tableau, wherein we have all the letters of the English alphabet present in each of the rows, but as we move from one row to the other successively, then we can find a shift of one character from left to right. And so these two things are basically used in the Visionaire cipher. And in the grid or 2D array, in the row side we actually try to find each of the characters or letters individually which are actually present in the keyword, and also similarly in the column side we basically try to find each of the characters or letters individually which are present in the plain text. Now coming to the Gronsfeld cipher, it is basically a special case of this Visionaire cipher, but in this type of cipher we basically try to work with non-repeated characters which are actually limited to the number of 10. Now the code which I am going to write now will be consisting of 4 methods in addition to the main method. The first method will be basically used for creating the tableau, the second one will create the keyword, the third one will be used for encryption, and the fourth one for decryption. Now first of all I am going to declare the main method inside the public class myProgram. Now after writing the main method, let me describe it. First of all, it is going to invoke the make tableau function, and after that it is going to ask the user to enter the plain text, and then I had declared the scanner instance for the scanner object from the scanner class, and after that I had taken the plain text as input from the user inside the string variable called pt, and then I had invoked the make keyword function which is actually taking one argument, that is the length of the plain text or pt string variable, and then in the next 4 lines I am going to declare the encrypt string variable and take it as an input from the user, and do the same for the decrypt variable in the next 2 lines. Now I am going to declare the 2-dimensional character array called tableau and the string variable, that is keyword. Basically these two variables are actually global variables which can be accessed by any method which is inside the myProgram public class. As you all had already noticed that this string variable called keyword is actually one empty string. Now we are going to write the tableau function. So as you can see, we had finished writing the make tableau function. So basically it has two for loops. Now what is our main objective? Our main objective is to create a 2D character array where each of the rows will contain the characters of the English alphabet in the same arrangement, whereas as we move from one row to the other successively, then the arrangement will be same, but it will be shifted by units of 1 from left to right. So that basically means that in the first row of the 2D array we will have characters from A to Z, in the second row we will have characters from B to Z, and at last we have one A, and in the third row we have characters from C to Z, and at last we have A and B. So it will go like this way. So in the outer for loop where I is the iterator will keep track of the row, and the inner for loop where j is the iterator will keep track of the column. So suppose you are in the first row, then the value of I will be 0, and suppose you are in the first column, then the value of j will be I, that is j equal to 0. So in this case the integer a which is declared inside the inner for loop will assume the value of 0 plus 65, which gives us 65. And as you can see, the if condition is failing here, so it will go to the else condition, and the tableau of 0 comma 0, that is the first element, will assume the character equivalent of the ASCII number 65, which is basically capital A. And now let me give you another example. Suppose you are in the second row and in the last column, then what is the value of I? The value of I will be 1, but the value of j will be actually the last row, that is the last column. So the value of j will be 26, because j will assume values from 1 to 26. So in this way the integer a will assume the value j plus 65. The value of j here is 26, so the value of a will be 91. So in this case, as you can see, the if condition is being satisfied and a is 91, so 91 is greater than 90. So the tableau of 1 comma 25 will get the character equivalent of a modulus 90, which gives us 1 plus 64, that is 65. So it will assume the value of capital A. Likewise, the arrangement will be same for each of the elements which we have in the 2D character array, and the order will be, or the arrangement will be exactly the same as we had already discussed in the beginning of the video. Now let me write the make keyword function. Actually it is quite a simple function, so let me write it fast. Now after writing it, let me explain it a little. Now as you can see, this function is actually accepting one argument, which is integer n, which is nothing but the length of the plain text, and as I had already mentioned that it will make use of the characters present in the keyword, which is fortification, that is the characters F, O, R and so on, and it will basically try to make a keyword out of these characters only in the same order as we have in the actual word, but in a cyclic manner, and the length of the keyword will be the same as the length of the plain text. So if we go by the cyclic manner, so cyclic manner basically means that after n we have F, after F we have O, then R and so on. So basically the keyword will have or follow the same cyclic manner of the word, but it will be the same length of the plain text. Now I am going to write the function for encryption. Basically this function is going to return a string, so static string, and then the name of the function. It will actually accept one parameter, that is the plain text, which is basically a string variable. Now after writing the encryption function, let me explain you the details. Now first of all, as you can see, it is going to store each of the characters present in the plain text inside the ENCPT1 character string, and the same thing is going to happen to the characters of the keyword, which is basically going to get stored inside the char array keyword, which is the character string variable. And after that it is going to create or declare one empty string variable encpt2. And now for each of the characters present in the plain text, it is going to actually store the row as well as column values. Now for the row value, we are going to store the index positions or index values for each of the characters present in the keyword. And similarly for the column value, we are going to store the index positions for each of the keywords present in the plain text. And these are basically going to get stored inside the integer a and integer b respectively. And now after getting the integer a and b, we are going to arrive at the junction or the intersection point of the row and column, which is basically going to give us one character or the cipher character, and then it is going to get joined or it is going to get joined to the encpt2 string variable. And finally for each of the characters present in the plain text, we are going to repeat the same thing and make our encpt2 string variable larger. And finally after completing or after arriving at the end of the for loop, we are going to return the encpt2 string variable. Now let me write the decryption function. Now basically it is going to accept the encrypt string variable as its parameter. So string encpt. Now as you can see inside the decrypt function, we are basically going to store the characters present in the keyword inside the character array decpt1, and we are going to do the same thing for the decpt2 character array as well, where it is going to store the characters present inside the encrypt string variable. And now we are going to declare one empty string variable decpt3. Now for the for loop, we are going to do the similar thing which we had actually done in the encryption function, but in case of decryption function, we are basically not interested in storing the row value as well as column value, but we are basically interested in storing the column value only by making use of the row value and the character which is present in the encrypted text, which all are known to us beforehand. And so after storing or getting the column value, we are basically going to add 65 to it, because it will basically give us the numeric ASCII equivalent, and then convert it to character, and then from character convert it to string, and then join it with the decpt string variable which was initially empty, and finally return the decpt string variable. Now let me run the code. Now as you can see, we got the encrypted text as well as the decrypted text. So finally we had accomplished our mission. So that's it from this video guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for further interesting and motivating updates. Now I will be back with the other implementations of this cipher. Until then, keep exploring.